Welcome everybody to Fighting Gains. I'm your host D and my co-host Iman. What's up, Iman? All right, and our client today is going to be JumpMaster. He's a young Link Lane, young Link Lane. Wow. And we're gonna see what we can do. We're gonna try to help him out. All right, Iman, go ahead, jump in there, show him what's what, and I'm gonna take a look at the matches. Got that analysis. Yep, do you think? How you doing, JumpMaster? How you feeling?
I'm doing good, pretty good.
Right, all right. I'll do some commentary. All right, yep, good arrows, good arrows. Keep it going, yep. Keep them at a distance. No, don't go in. Stay, keep your distance. No, too close. There you go. Make that distance. There you go. Arrows. Oh, shit. No. You gotta save that jump, boy. It's all good. It's all good. Just get back into it. Doing good. All right. Using projectiles, man. You got like 3 of them. I like the movement. The movement's good, but at some point you gotta fight them. Shoot some shit. Shoot some shit. Yes. Not too much, though. Not too much. Sparingly. I like it. Good one. It's a good boomerang thing. I like it. Just hold it just enough. All right. Definitely moving. Nope, too many. All right, I like it. I like it. That's good. 2 shots and back off. Oof. Okay, you made it. Survive. Okay, I like good grab. Good arrows. Yeah, mix it up. That's a good mix. All right. Don't get too used to rolling. Oh no. All right. Good game. That was a good match. All right. So I'm gonna hop in the arena. I'm just gonna go through a couple of basic things with Young Link as Young Link. So let me hop in there.
So this one, don't fight him.
Yeah. We're not fighting. We're just gonna. I'm just gonna give you 3 or 4 tools to incorporate into the next match. What's up, everybody? I'm sorry, I was watching the match. What's up, chat? What's up, MS? So what's up, Fox? Thor? What's up, Luis? What's up, Declan? How everybody doing? My bad. But yeah, we're educating. Where's Young Link at? All right, I got you. All right, so with Young Link, he's kind of like a toolbox character. He has a tool for every situation. The real idea is figuring out what is the best tool for said situation. Since you have so many tools available, it becomes kind of hard to figure out what to do in most situations. So you kind of want to keep it simple. All right. So here's fighting 101. Here's basics. Number 1 basics you want to figure out, and it's true of every fighting game, every character, everything. Period. You see this distance right here? Yep.
Sorry, real quick. The audio's a little glitchy on the stream side.
Okay. What do you mean glitchy? Like hard to hear, or?
Like it's it's I don't know how to describe it. It's glitchy.
Okay.
You sound like a robot. Yeah, you sound a little robotic.
Okay, 1 second. Sound like a. Can I hop in? Declan, not right now. We're doing a lesson. Hello. Test, 2, 3, 4. What's up, Zoinks? Welcome. Out here Sunday morning. How's it sound?
It's still kind of
weird.
shaky.
All right, 1 second.
Sorry about this, John.
Yeah, we got it.
That's right. No, take your time, guys. This round.
Got some technical difficulties. What the fuck is
Alright.
Six, 4. It sounds mad robotic. Let me replay the stream. Let me see if that's going on. Test.
It sounds mad robotic. Wait to listen to it now.
Yeah, it's like I hear it. It's like a. I don't know what's doing that.
Test. Yeah, it's still like I don't know what that is.
I don't know why it's doing that. Let me see
Anything
something.
going on in the background?
No.
It's still like I don't know what that is.
1 second. I'm trying to figure out what it could be picking up.
Anything going on in the background?
Do you even know what this is on the? How's it sound now? I'm actually gonna move the mic over here. How about this? Let me see if that's better. Something wrong with the microphone. AOD are using. Sorry, everybody. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's the same mic. It's the same setup.
That's better, I think.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep the mic over here. I had the mic next to the laptop. Maybe that's what it was. All right. So yeah, JumpMaster, you here with me?
Yeah, okay.
It's still a little shaky. It's a little better, but it's still a little shaky.
All right. It's fine. All right. We'll rock with this. All right. So JumpMaster. Here's rule number 1. This is the most important thing you want to figure out. Walk up to me, like be as close as possible.
Yeah.
Do a back dash.
Yeah, okay.
No. Do a back roll, an actual roll.
Roll is the word you're looking for.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like that. See this distance? This is the distance you want to maintain at all times. You don't know why. You know why this distance is so important. Is because come a little closer.
Alright.
Block that. Try and block that on reaction.
Okay.
See that? It's impossible.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be able to react in time. You're too close to do anything like that. So now try to block it from here. Nope. Stay where you are. Now block it.
Okay.
See that? That's the main difference. That's why that much space is so important. You want to be able to react to what your opponent does. That is the number 1 thing. So where you are positioned is the most important thing. This is what you want to do most of your game. This is your whole game plan. Being in position. So number 1 rule, positioning. You want to be in position so that you can see that coming. You can see this coming. You can react to that. Because if you're too close, you're not gonna be able to see anything. You know? So this positioning, maintaining roll distance is the most important thing. That way you can see what your opponent can do and react accordingly. Either block, jump, attack, all that. be too close to them because, I mean, if you are close, you want to keep your shield up because anything could happen. You don't want to guess. All right. So maintaining this distance is the most important thing. This is the most important part of neutral when people talk about neutral positioning. Because if you're positioned, because the difference between this and this, see the difference is only a couple of centimeters. So that's why literally putting yourself in position so that your attacks work is the most important thing. You want to make sure your attacks don't whiff. You don't want this. You want to be able to hit them or hit the shield. All right. That's why positioning is the most important thing. You want to make sure you're in the distance about right here, roll distance. That way you can see and react. All right. So the next most important thing is, go ahead and jump for me. Just jump at me. Jump at me. Like jump at me and attack. Like jump at me and attack. Yeah. See that? You want to anti-air them. Why do you think anti-airing is important? Why would you say it's the second most important thing?
By the time someone tries to land to get next to you, you can just like anti-air, just push it back, and then you'll probably like have enough distance for you to do an attack. Mm-hmm.
That is true. But anti-airing is the second most important thing, because if your opponent can jump on you for free, see that? They can just come at you with this. They don't have to play the ground game. And you want them to play the ground game. The ground game is the most important thing. Because all your options come from the ground. You're blocking, you're jumping, you're attacking. Everything comes from the ground. But if your opponent doesn't, if I could just do this for free all day, I don't have to play the ground game. You know? So that's why it's you want them to play you don't want them to invalidate a whole aspect of play because you can't stop them from getting at you in the air. Okay? So Young Link's anti-airs, from what I'm seeing, that seems pretty good because that covers a good amount of space. That seems pretty good. And so try to, up smash maybe. Yeah, I can see that. Jump at me. Like jump at me. I think that's not too bad. No, it's actually terrible range. Never mind. But yeah. No, that's not it. Okay. Yeah, up tilt, up air. These are solid because these literally cover the space you want to cover. Yeah. So that's. Yeah. Yeah. As far as anti-airs go, you got this and you got this. Know these moves well because it's as you can see, it's important. That and that. When they jump, just be ready with that. Be ready with that. All right. Now we went through a quick recap: positioning, anti-airs. Now the third aspect is how do you hit your opponent? Right. Now that we got movement down, we got anti-airs down, so they can play the ground game. There's 3 ways to hit your opponent. Number 1 is your neutral button. Neutral button is a big ass button that covers a lot of space and keeps you safe. It keeps your opponent out. It's safe to throw out because you can do it and you can kind of harass your opponent. Your neutral button should be your opponent's most feared button that you can do to them. So you want something, maybe tilt or that from what?
Arrows.
No. Right. Well, at a range, yes.
Arrows from a distance.
Yes. Just as a neutral guide, like every character has a neutral button. Young Link, him being a Link, he has probably like 4 or 5. Meaning he's got projectiles, he's got a sword. Like his whole game plan is harassing you with big ass neutral buttons. He's not really a get in there brawly combo-y whatever character. He's literally all about harassment. So we're gonna just hop back in there. So for Young Link,
Okay. So that's basically what I was doing wrong. I was just treating him as like a in your face something like that.
100%. I'm glad that you catch it. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I understand.
100%. Now, and that goes into archetypes of the character because every character in Smash is a different archetype. You kind of just have to play them to the maximum effectiveness, you know? Like every character has their strengths, has their weaknesses. You just kind of have to lean into them more than other people. Some people's more obvious, some people's a little less obvious. So yes, as Young Link, your main neutral button is that. That covers so much space. It is you see that? It just invalidated everything you were about to do. See that? Look at that. I have to react to this. I have to deal with this because I don't want to get lit up with fire arrows all day. So this being your main neutral button, it puts you at an advantage because see how far away, look how far away you are and can hit me. So the opponent has to put in heat. Your opponent has to get in somehow. They're forced to go in. They're forced to do this. They're forced to jump in. So you, by default, control this much space. You control so much of the match from this far away. You see that? This, I have to deal with this. Every other character has to deal with this because this is Young Link's strength. This is Young Link's best button. This is best tool. So I have to get creative and figure a way out. Because this, like I said, this can go on forever. If I don't figure a way out, it'll go on forever. So what you want to try to have is a circle of defense. So this is straight ahead. Like obviously this is what you do from afar. If your opponent is a little closer, do a fire arrow. Do a fire arrow. You don't want to be doing fire arrows that close. Because that's the way around it. See? Because they're going to jump out of it. So, once they're getting over your fire arrows, what do you want to do? That's it. See how it goes full circle? That's two things already in your kit that you got down packed. That's just two things. You have arrows. So like I said, so try to get over these arrows. Go ahead. Try to hit me. Now I'm gonna go back over here. No. Get back over there. Try to get through. Go ahead.
Ready?
Yeah. Try to get through. There you go. So now, for me, I can't just be spamming arrows. I need to find a way. See, there you go. See how I can throw out two? I can throw out two and see what you do. See that? Now you're over here. Cool. All you got to do is just maintain that position. You still want to maintain roll distance. Because if you're close to Young Link, I don't know what's going to happen. But from here, I can see everything. You know, I'll throw out an arrow. Okay. Cool. There you go. So as Young Link, your defense is mad important. Because once they get in your face, what do? You know? But we're not there yet. We're not there we're still on how to hit your opponent. Big ass neutral. So the big ass neutral button is that.
I think
Nair's pretty good, yeah. That's actually pretty good. That's like a good get off me type shit. So as Young Link, your neutral buttons are this and that. Just focus on that for now. Maybe some bombs, but definitely arrow. Definitely arrow, and let's just say Nair, because Nair's pretty good. Nair's not bad. Yeah. And then, yeah, try. All right, so let's actually test that. So I'm going to shoot some arrows, try to get through. Shoot some arrows, maintain the position, shoot the arrows, and then there. See that? Yeah. See how they go hand in hand? Once they get close. Nope, I'm chilling. There. That's it. Yeah. So those are the two buttons I want you to focus on. All right? Just focus on that. Focus on that. Like, obviously, down tilt's good. That's a good combo starter. But the problem with down tilt, you don't want to get that close. See that? Nair's a great approach. Yeah. And also, Nair, actually, that's your approach button. That's what I want you to go. If you're gonna go in with Nair. Don't go in with anything else. See that Nair in the down tilt? That seems pretty good. That's not the worst. It's like a pretty good combo starter. Now I think about it. All right.
Okay, now, what I noticed too, when I was trying to do like the anti-air, I have like this habit of reaching. I like have like a jump, but one thing I noticed by myself is that like I want to get like the predictability like all the way down to 0.
Right.
I noticed that I have to jump in order to like do the
right.
Like,
Oh.
like see what? Okay.
see what you're talking about.
Okay. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
See
you.
like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a habit of jumping. I just want to go. Like, it's like for me, it's like timing.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have to learn how to get the timing down before I do like move like this. You know what I mean?
Oh, like this?
Like not but like yeah,
Okay.
like that.
Are you using nair or up air?
I'm using up there.
Okay, so are you using the C stick?
No, I'm just using the regular doggy.
Okay, so that's gonna make it a little harder. So try to use for your tilts and aerials. Try to incorporate C stick, because try to just jump and do a up. See how much easier that is? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
100%. Yeah, there we go. See, already valuable information. So because you want to be able to jump, because you want to be able to attack at the last possible second. So C stick, and then also just C stick for your tilts. I'm not sure if you have is your tilt stick set to is your C stick set to tilt? Probably not, right?
No, I need to check that out. I don't know.
All right, so yeah, definitely. So that's definitely something you want to do to kind of make moves a lot easier, 100%. But because if you jump and then up air, you have to buffer it. So yeah, that's why having C stick up or C stick forward makes your aerials that much better and that much more consistent. It makes it faster. See that? This is what you want. You want it to be like mad mechanical. All right.
Oh yeah. Okay. I get it.
Got me? Cool.
I was doing it the hard way. Okay.
Yeah, you were definitely doing it the hard way.
Yeah. My main movement was with just like the direction pad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was not using speaker at all.
Yeah, exactly. It makes it harder because because if you're moving forward and then you want to up air, no, you want to be able to jump forward then up air. You know.
Okay.
All right, got me. All right, what are we talking about? Yes. So actually, what's bow and arrow? Yeah, the boomerang. Yeah, throwing the boomerang straight up. That's actually not a bad anti-air either. So yeah.
That's a great answer. That's annoying.
Yeah, like that. That's actually a pretty good go-to. So yeah, especially so what you can do is you can shoot that, like you can throw out the boomerang and then go with the arrows, or go with the arrow, throw out a boomerang. You see how annoying this is? I'm just looking. I'm just like, this is bad, but this is good. This is what Young League is good at. These are the strengths. So yeah, actually, arrow is actually boomerang is pretty good in the air as well. So you can like throw out a boomerang. See how much space you're controlling just alone. Yeah. So that's actually not a bad idea. You could definitely throw out a boomerang, then start to harass him, because that covers the air. Since the air is covered, you can just do whatever on the ground now. Got it? So actually, yeah. So let's add that to the answer. So we got up tilt, up air, boomerang. You know how to tilt it up, right? So you hold it forward and then hold it slightly upwards.
Right.
Yeah, try the boomerang.
Okay.
Try to throw it upwards.
So hold it forward, then hold up at the last second. Like tilt it forward and then hold up. Like that. Yeah, press forward. You gotta throw out you see the animation of it coming out. See that? See how he winds back. Hold up when he winds back. There you go.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, another little trick: hold down when you're on the ground. Watch what it does.
There you go.
Hold down.
There you go. Thanks, Iman. A little bit of link knowledge.
That angle was actually way better.
That angle's like great. Yeah. So there we go.
Okay.
Little tips. Even then, just for basics sake. We don't want to get too complicated. All right. So now that we got our big ass neutral buttons covered and how to approach from there, what's the next way to? All right. So just go ahead and attack me.
Okay.
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 Well, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
How are you getting through this? Say the person's blocking.
Yeah, I just learned a lot. Not me utilizing the C stick was like my greatest weakness.
I'm sure. Yeah, 100%, bro. It's a great thing. So to the next lesson. Now that your big ass neutral, we established your big ass neutral buttons. So your opponent's blocking. How do you get through your opponent blocking?
I should grab.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's the next way to hit somebody. Because if your big ass buttons aren't working, they're blocking your buttons. You want to be able to grab them because that's the way around them blocking your big ass buttons. Fine, that's true. We know that. That's true for every fighting game. Period. So the third way to hit somebody, if they're blocking your big ass buttons and they're throwing out buttons and you can't get through, what would you say the next way to hit somebody is?
Okay, they're throwing out arrows you can't get through. Let's see.
Let's not even say arrows. Let's say like a sword. Let's say like they got a sword. I got hands. I'm never gonna be able to beat a sword with my hands. And every time I try to hit them, they block me. So what's the next way to hit them?
Let's see. Well, what I usually do, I would probably like roll or like dodge the arrows and then try to reach straight to them and then hit them.
Right. But say you reach them and they're blocking. And when you try to grab them, they're jumping out the way, they're moving. And every time you try to get in close, they hit you. What would you say is the next way? What's the next way to open them up? Say that they block everything. Every time you get in close, they hit you. What would you say is the other way? Less specific. All right, so do me a favor. Do this and then block. Just keep doing this. Just stand where you are. Stand where you are and do that. So F tilt. Actually, do a down tilt. Do a down tilt. Because it's easier. Yeah, do a down tilt, then block. Like that. So down tilt, block. Down tilt, block. Down tilt, block. So do it once, then block. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Yep. Down tilt and block. Okay. Let's let your shield come back. Oh, God. All right. So actually, just do a down smash then block. Do a down smash then block. Do a down smash then block. Whoa, how about that? Down smash, down smash. Then block. Yeah. Do it again. See that? Okay. Do it again. Do it one more time. Do it again. Do down smash and block. Uh-oh. All right. Yeah, do it again. Down smash, yeah. Do it again. Wow, that shit's fast. All right. Do an S smash. Actually, better than that. Yeah, do an S smash. Do an S smash. Do an S smash and block. Do it again. Ugh. The link does not have pussy. It's hard. No, I'm not. Yeah, keep doing it. Yeah, do an S smash. All right, that's probably what we're doing. All right, so do an F smash. Do an F smash and block. I got you. Could you block there?
Okay.
You saw when you got hit? Do it again.
Yeah, I could. Okay.
Do it again. Could you block there?
Oh. Okay.
So the next way to hit somebody is when they're already attacking and whiffing. Because if you hit my shield with that, see that? You get a little bit of shield stun. So do an F smash.
Okay.
See that? Do it again. Could you block there?
Okay.
Got it? So the last way to hit somebody is called a whiff punch. When somebody throws out an attack that has a decent amount of, end lag, a lot of attacks in Smash don't have end lag like that, but ideally, when somebody's missing an attack, hitting them before they can block again, that's the next way to hit somebody. That's why positioning is number one. Because the difference between that, see that? You see how that missed by a little bit? That's because I was slightly out of your range. That's why the ground game is so important. This is the most important thing you want to focus on. Because if your attacks aren't hitting and you're just whiffing all day, you make it that much susceptible to getting hit. You know? So that turns your offense into your weakness. And that's like the whole game. The whole game is trying to balance offense and defense. Because if you can move out of your opponent's attacks all the time and hit them, then you don't have to really worry about blocking. You literally, that's a good way to like form your offense. Because you don't want to just be throwing out attacks all predictable and getting blocked, you know? You want to make sure your attacks are threatening so that when they block, they can't hit you. But if they attack back, they're going to die for it, you know? All right. So let's do a recap. The way to hit your opponent, big ass neutral button. For most characters, yeah, it's projectiles. It's a big ass sword, you know, whatever. Whatever's a good button that keeps you safe and covers a lot of space and scares your opponent, that's your neutral button. Obviously, grabbing shields, or shield poking, or or shield breaking, because actually because there's, like I said, there's a caveat, like Marth and Lucina, they got the shield breaker and all that. So basically, dealing with shield, grab, and then whiff punishing. So, and the whiff punishes go both ways. See, if you keep shooting arrows, keep shooting arrows. If your arrows don't hit you, if they don't hit me, and I hit you for throwing out an arrow, that also counts as a whiff punish. So that's equally important. All right. So quick recap: I'm gonna have you fight Iman again, and we're just gonna focus only on the neutral tools. Okay. Just focus on arrows, anti-air, anti-airs, and that's really it. I don't really want to see anything else. I don't want to see no crazy down airs and we're not there yet. I just want you to focus on anti-airing, arrows, and let's look kill setup. I don't know what kill setup is. Because I don't want to. All right. So
kill setup for young Mike would be the into up there.
Right. Okay. Right. So actually, I think this one's not bad. So if they're close, because we do want to defend you, because obviously we want to. When Iman's close to you, or anybody's close to you,